Let's talk some college football. Today we're reviewing three games: Georgia, Ball State, Colorado, Nebraska, and Alabama, Texas. Let's start with the biggest blowout. So the 0-1 Ball State, whatever they are, Cardinals, I think, went against the 1-0 Georgia Bulldogs, number one ranked in the country, and the game was about what you expected. Georgia started kind of slow, built up pace, and then just spent the rest of the time not really trying too hard. We're not. You can see that we're not using up any of our energy against these two teams. We could beat both of these teams by 60 or 70 if we wanted to, like Oregon did. But we decided, we're going to beat these teams in sort of dominating fashion. We're not going to exhaust our players on meaningless games because we're not going to lose these games. We knew that, so we didn't try too hard. It's a pretty good strategy. Do we even have to go over Ball State stats? The quarterbacks all were terrible. Literally all of them. None of them were good. I guess Lane Hatcher did all right, but honestly, still nothing special. Rushing. Charlie Spiegel was decent. Kyle Kelly and his few carries, who's also a quarterback apparently, did okay. Nobody else did anything well at all. And receiving, they had a couple of decent receivers, Ahmad Edwards and Kian Magwood. They fumbled once but didn't lose it. Defense, they had a couple players, Keontae Newsom and Cole Pierce with a good amount of tackles. Sacks, no, they actually had one. It was Danny Royster. Tackles for loss, they had a couple spread out here. Some pass defense. Had one interception by Algeric Mallory probably. But yeah, that's pretty much it for them. They kicked the field goal. Georgia, on the other hand, Carson Beck did throw a pick, but he also threw 23 of 30 for 283 yards and a touchdown. One reception, but it's still decent. Gunnar Stockton had one pass. Brock Ramick threw two incomplete passes. Roderick Robinson. I don't know why I love trying to call him Roderick Robertson. It's Robinson. 6 carries, 38 yards in the TD. Dylan Bell, our wide receiver, had 3 for 28 and a touchdown. Kendall Moon, 7 for 18 and a touchdown. Carson Beck had a few carries as well. That's basically it. Receiving, Arian Smith and Oscar Dell both had 2 receptions for 50 yards. A lot of receptions for Lovett. He had 29 touchdowns for Rosenby Jackson and Cash Jones on the receiving side. Carson Beck fumble, but we didn't lose it. We have a lot of tackles spread out across our team. Sacks, we still have a sacking problem this season. A few tackles for loss and pass defense. 3 interceptions, one by Tyke Smith, a great one by Malachi Starks, and one by Chaz Chambliss, all players who were on this team as well last year. Punt return touchdown by Makai Muse. He's looking really good this season. I'm very excited to see what else he can do. But yeah, there's not much else to say about this game. It's just what you kind of expected from a Georgia Ball State game. Now, it didn't take too long. Let's just get into the Colorado game. Let's see if I can find it. Is there any way to search? Oh yeah, there is. Colorado. Yep, they beat Nebraska 14-36. And honestly, if they're a deserving ranked team, they should have blown out Nebraska. I don't know why people were acting like this was like, oh my goodness, this proves how good No, the last game proved how good they were. Them beating TCU proved them that they were amazing. This game is kind of just what I expected after seeing what they did against TCU. They sold out. That's great for Colorado. Even though it was only 22 points against the unranked team, still probably gonna move up, which honestly is well deserved. I don't know how they're still only 22 after beating 17, but Shedeur Sanders looks like a top QB in the league, guaranteed. Like, he just looks so good. Let's go over the box score. I didn't watch this game though. I watched this Georgia game and the Alabama game. Did not watch the Colorado game. All of the Nebraska QBs were terrible. Jeff Sims, Heinrich Harburg, and Chubba Purdy. What a lineup. Rushing, they were actually pretty good, honestly. All the running backs did well. Great job to Gabe Irvin, Jeff Sims, who's also a quarterback, Ramir Johnson, and their quarterback. Well, I guess their quarterbacks were really well. Gabe Irvin still did good. Same for Ramir Johnson. So good job to those two. Sims also ran for a touchdown. Or I even noticed that Harper threw for a touchdown. But yeah, those are the two scores right there. And who did he throw it to? Thomas Fidone, the second. Billy Camp also had 57 yards. 2 fumbles for Jeff Sims. And a fumble for Gabe Irvin. That's a big game changer right there. That is not good. You do not want to fumble 4 times. And if you do, you do not want to lose 3 of them. That's just a big no-no for the Nebraska team. Some tackles. Couple of sacks by Nebraska. They got Shedeur Sanders on the ground a lot. No interceptions, though, because they're going against Shedeur Sanders. Let's get to the Colorado Buffaloes. Yeah, we already said Shedeur Sanders is amazing again. 31 of 42 for 393, 2 TDs, and Ryan Staub, I guess he was on the field. Dylan Edwards was a decent running back here. Anthony Hankerson was very good as well. That's pretty much it for players that ran it a good amount. They didn't run it too much, okay? They did not run it that much. When they did, it was very, you can clearly see that it spread out a lot. And actually, most of these were actually just him getting sacked. So they actually had like more, around 20 rushes. Receiving, Xavier Weaver looking great. 10 for 170, my goodness. Travis Hunter had another good day. Dawson and Harrison did decent as well. Jimmy Horn was really good. Just an all-around great day anywhere on the passing offense for Colorado. Fumbles, they did lose 1, but they recovered 3. So, yeah, that's good for them. They fumbled once. You don't want to fumble at all, but it was Ryan Staub, who's never going to play too many snaps, so it doesn't matter that much. And they recovered 3, which is big. They had 2 total sacks, 1.5 for Tage. I'm just gonna say Tage. Tage Austin and Leonard Payne Jr. combined for 2 sacks, and an interception for Cameron Stillman Craig. But yeah, not much really to say for this game either. Just looks like Colorado's going to be a good team, and good teams beat the crap out of teams like Nebraska. You might want to see them put up 40 against Nebraska, but it's not that big of a deal. Just as I said for Georgia, they're probably not putting their full pedal to the metal. If they were, then maybe Nebraska's defense is good. I don't know. They didn't do much. They did pretty good defensively against Minnesota, I guess. Let's get to the big game, though. The one that has people talking. And it is Alabama's game against Texas. Yep, you see it here first. Well, definitely not first to me while I make this video, but Texas defeats Alabama 34-24. Wasn't even close. 10-point win. Number 11 beats number 3. Alabama continues to lose every big game they play. But, yeah, you can see the scoring summary here. Texas was winning 13-3, but Alabama started to come back a little bit. Made it and took the lead 13-16. But after that, Texas started scoring a lot. Got up to 27. Alabama scored and went for 2. But then Adonai Mitchell, A.D. Mitchell, former Georgia Bulldog, puts them to sleep. Let's go to the box score. Let's go with the losing team first. Jaden Milroe was very bad. I watched this game. He was scared to stay in the pocket longer than 2 seconds. So, maybe even 1.5. Like, he just wasn't in the pocket much. A lot of time I saw him immediately pressure, rolling out, throwing it away, or trying to throw some crazy pass. 14 of 27, but did have a good amount of yards. 255, 2 TDs, but also 2 interceptions. Running, they couldn't really run much. Jace McClellan, 12 for 45. Jay Milroe, 15 for 44, which is a lot of carries for a quarterback, by the way. Also not really a good average. I'm pretty sure that's combined with the sacks he got. Receiving, Kobe Prentice, 5 for 68. Jermaine Burton, former Bulldog, 2 for 58 and a touchdown. Amari Niblack, 2 for 45 and a touchdown. A couple big plays spread around the receiving group. No sacks for Alabama at all. 10 tackles for Trezman Marshall and Caleb Downs. Only 2 tackles for loss and 0 sacks. The defensive line / linebackers, really the entire front seven needs to do better on tackling Alabama behind the line, whether it's on Texas behind the line, whether it's a pass or a run play. A good amount of pass deflections though, 5. I actually don't know if that's a good amount or not, but actually I would say it definitely is. A lot of incompletions in real life are throwaways, because let's be honest, there's not any incomplete passes in Madden. In real life though, there are a lot of incomplete passes are either misfires. You don't see a lot of pass breakups, or like throwaways. So I think 5 pass breakups is pretty good. Not much on the kick return stuff. Let's get to Texas. Quinn Ewers, 24 for 38, 349, 3 TDs. Looks like a Heisman right now. Those are some amazing stats, especially against number 3 ranked Alabama. Rushing was decent. Jonathan Brooks, 14 for 57 and a touchdown. CJ Baxter, 11 for 31. That's pretty much it, really, on this side of the ball. They're more of a passing team today. Jatavion Sanders, 5 for 114. A lot of yards. Adonai Mitchell, 3 for 78 and 2 TDs. Xavier Worthy, 5 for 75 and a touchdown. And John Whittington, 3 for 44. Mitchell and Ewers both fumbled, but they didn't lose either of those 2 fumbles. Sacks, they had a ton. 5 sacks against the Alabama offensive line, which is supposed to be really freaking good. Not very good today, though. Tackles, 7 for Jalen Catalan, and 6 for Anthony Hill. And David Gabenda, or is it just Benda? Let's assume it's Gabenda. 9 tackles for loss for Texas. You can see this was, even though it was a passing game as well, there was a lot of stuff going on in the line of scrimmage of this game. You can see Texas clearly won. 5 more sacks in Alabama and 7 more tackles for loss. You could see the effect the defensive line had on this game. Alabama Quinn Ewers could do whatever he wanted in the pocket. And the running backs usually at least got back to the line of scrimmage. For Alabama, though, they could not stop being pressured. Miller was going outside the pocket every other play, and their running backs could not get out of the backfield. So, yeah. Only 1 pass defense, but a lot of them were just not great passes. Obviously, completions were like throwaways because of the pressure and stuff. 2 interceptions, 1 by Jaron Thompson and 1 by Jahdae Barron. But yeah, that's it. And it could have been even bigger of a game if Burt Auburn didn't miss a kick. So, yeah, this is definitely boosting Texas into the playoffs because the playoff committee keeps on putting Alabama ranked in the playoffs after, come on, dude. They're just not. I don't think they're there yet. You know what you're saying? Well, if Texas makes it to the playoffs, you still have to go undefeated, win the SEC championship, which is not happening because that's going to be the Bulldogs who do that. It's just not looking good for Alabama. You do not want to lose in week 2. But actually, you'd rather lose early than lose late, to be honest. So, but if you lose another game, you're out. There's not going to be any 2 teams. I don't think there's going to be any 2 lost teams in the playoffs this year until they lose again in the playoffs. I think every team that makes the playoffs is either going to be undefeated or 1 loss, and Alabama's going to have to win out if they want to be in that conversation. But that's what I have to say. What do you have to say? Do you agree with some of the takes here? What about some predictions? What do you think is going to happen next week? I think it's Colorado versus Oregon. Let me see. Oregon Ducks. Yep, next is against No. Week 4 is against Oregon. All right. But yeah, that's still gonna be interesting. They almost lost to Texas Tech, so maybe Colorado can actually win that game. Oh dang, Oregon has a hard schedule, dude. They're not gonna make it to the playoffs. But see you guys later. Adios.